Mohan Ju ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Swāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashatara Shatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai, Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gokṣaras Babaji Mahārāja ki jai, Nitil Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannātha Das Babaji Mahārāja ki jai, Shri Rupa Nugogariya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath, Shar Gosai Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namachay Shri Lahaidas Thakur ki jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gora Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ju ki jai, Shri Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā Mahamahotsav ki jai, Shri Herā-pañcamī ki jai, Sarva Vraja Devi Gan ki jai, Shri Vrishabhanunandini Shrimati Radha Thakurani ki jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar ki jai, Shri Vas Pandit ki jai, Saparshad Shri Gaur Hari ki jai. We'll be reading about them today. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Lakshmi Devi ki jai, Herā-pañcamī ki jai. Is it called the Lakshmi Vijay ki jai? All right, Hari Bol everybody. Dandavat Pranams, Ganga Mataji, Satya Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji. Hari Bol everybody. Gargaraj ji, Dandavat Pranam. So today we'll be reading from my Gurudev's book, Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā. Do I have it here? No, I don't. Oh yeah, I do. Anyways, we'll be reading chapter 10 about Herā-pañcamī. And if there's time at the end, then maybe we can read about Virkeshwar Pandit. Oh, I forgot to mention Virkeshwar Pandit ki jai, Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi ki jai. So if there's time at the end, maybe we could read about Virkeshwar Pandit. But this chapter is long, so there might not be time, and I'm starting late. So I'll just jump right into it. Let me share my screen. Okay. Herā-pañcamī. Chapter 10. Every year before Ratha-yātrā, thousands of clay pots filled with water from holy places, situated all over India, are brought for Lord Sri Jagannatha's bathing festival, for Snan Yatra. With this water, the Abhishek of Sri Jagannath, Sri Baladev, and Sri Subhadra is performed. Because an excessive amount of water is used, they enact a pastime of illness. At that time, Lakshmi Devi takes them to her palace, where she locks the door for 15 days and cares for them. As a result, they regain their health. Lord Jagannath Dev says to Lakshmi Ji, "My dear, due to your care, we have become healthy, but we do not like being confined to the palace for so long. I desire to wander around outside for a few days for a change of atmosphere." Lakshmi Ji asked, "Prabhu, how long will it be until you all return?" "We shall come back very soon," said Sri Jagannath. Sri Lakshmi Ji agreed to Jagannath Dev's request. There was no apprehension in her mind, because Shri Baladev and Subhadraji were going along with him. Thus, by Lakshmiji's agreement, Lord Jagannatha, along with Shri Baladev and Subhadraji, mounted their chariots and left. Lakshmiji's exhibition of anger. When 5 days had elapsed, Lakshmiji began to wonder, "Where has my husband gone? He promised that he would come back very soon, but so many days have passed and he has not returned." Lakshmiji became incapable of tolerating Sri Jagannath's neglect of her by delaying his return. In her anger, she ordered all her maidservants to equip themselves with weapons. Then, like the commander-in-chief of an army, she set out to attack her husband. They searched and searched for Sri Jagannath until they came to the Gundicha Mandir. It was there that they searched. Search is herati. So it is there that they searched for him. That is why the residents of Orissa, the Utkalavasis, they call this day Herā-pañcamī. Pañcamī refers to the 5th day after the Ratha-yātrā festival, as well as the 5th day of the waxing and waning moon on the lunar calendar. So Herā-pañcamī, the festival of searching for Jagannāth. One second, just checking the comments. Hare Krishna, Rasa Kelly. Okay. So Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's desire to see Herā-pañcamī. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu called Nilachal Dwarka, and he called Gundicha Mandir Vrindavan. His purpose in doing so was to make the inhabitants of the world understand the difference between Dwarka and Vrindavan. Therefore, the day before Herā-pañcamī, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu said to Sri Kashi Mishra, "I, along with my devotees, went to see the Herā-pañcamī festival." Kashi Mishra expressed Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's desire to King Prataparudra and asked the king to decorate Mahalakshmi Devi with very gorgeous gold ornaments and hold such a magnificent festival that after seeing her opulence, everyone will be struck with wonder. And Mahalakshmi is the deity inside the Jagannath temple. I think that was obvious, right? Okay. The king was most elated to receive such a golden opportunity to perform service to Śrīmad Mahaprabhu. He told Kashi Mishra that he could take whatever he wanted from the royal treasury. On the day of Herā-pañcamī, Kashi Mishra prepared for this pastime by getting hundreds of devotees to beautifully adorn themselves. In the morning, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu took his devotees and went inside Gundicha Mandir for darshan of Sri Jagannath Dev. He then took them to Sri Jagannath Mandir to see the Herā-pañcamī festival. Kashi Mishra treated him with great respect and had him seated in a beautiful spot next to the Singhadwar. The Singhadwar is the main gate to Jagannath Mandir, right in the front. It has been described in the previous chapter that both the Vrajvasis and the Dwarkavasis have so much prem for Sri Krishna, but Sri Krishna is controlled only by the prem of the Vrajavasis. Therefore, on the day of Herā-pañcamī, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu asked Sri Sarup Damodar some questions with the purpose of establishing the glories of the Vrajvasis' prem in the world. The discussion between Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and Sri Sarup Damodar. With the desire to hear about the speciality of Ras, by comparing the Ras of Vraj to the Ras of Vaikuntha, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu somewhat laughingly asked Srila Sarup Damodar, "Yadyapi Jagannath koren dwarakai vihar, sahaja prakata kore parama udar, tatapi vatsar madhe hoy ekabar, Vrindavan dekhite tar utkantha apar." That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 14, verses 117 and 118. Although Sri Jagannath Dev reigns in the Nilachal Mandir, which is Dwarka Dham, and engages in pastimes there, thus bestowing his supreme natural compassion upon the jivas, still, once a year, he becomes overwhelmed with immense eagerness to see Vrindavan. Vrindavana sama e upavana gan, taha deki bare utkhantit hoy man. Utkantita hoy man. That's verse 119. On both sides of Borodanda, the Grand Road, are beautiful groves. Pointing toward those gardens, Sriman Mahaprabhu said, "These gardens are identical to Vrindavan. Therefore, Sri Jagannath Dev remains extremely eager at heart to see them." Bahir hoite kore Ratha-yātrā chal, Sundara chale jai Prabhu Sundara chale jai Prabhu chari nilachal. Verse 120. Outwardly, Sri Jagannath mounts the chariot on the pretense of going to roam about in the gardens. In this way, he leaves Nilachal, Dwarka, and goes to Sundarachal, Vrindavan. Nana pushpo dhyane tata khele ratri dine, Lakshmi Devi re shange nahi loy ki karane. Verse 121. Bhagavan sports and plays day and night in the various flower gardens there. But why does he not take Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, with him? Only the gopis have the qualification to enter Ras Leela. Swarup kohe shuno Prabhu karana ihar, Vrindavan krirate Lakshmir nahi adhikar. Verse 122. Swarup Damodar replied, "Prabhu, please listen. The reason for this is that Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, does not have the proper qualification to enter the playful pastimes of Vrindavan. Vrindavana lilai Krishner sahai gopigan, gopigana bina Krishner harite nare man." Verse 123. In the sweet pastimes of Vrindavan, the only assistants of Sri Krishna are the gopis. But for them, no one can steal the mind of Krishna. In Dwarka, Sri Krishna has 16,000 queens, as well as eight principal queens headed by Satyabhama and Rukminiji. All of them are Lakshmi Swarup, meaning they are embodiments of Lakshmi. If none of these eight principal queens have the qualification to enter Sri Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, then what can be said about the remaining 16,000 queens? In Vrindavan, the gopis' service to Sri Krishna is performed in Parakiya Bhav, the mood of a paramour, and in Dwarka, the queens serve him in Swakiya Bhav, wedded love. Prem has two aspects: meeting, milan, and separation, viraha. Separation increases the eagerness to meet and nourishes that meeting. When there is only meeting, the waves of the bhavs of prem do not arise. In Dwarka, the queens are Sri Krishna's lawfully married wives, and there are no societal restrictions on their meeting with him. They can do so whenever they want. They can meet with him whenever they want. Therefore, their prem lacks an ever freshness. If prem has a cause, then when the cause breaks, prem also breaks. The Dwarka queen's prem for Sri Krishna is based on their marriage to him. But the gopis' prem for Sri Krishna does not depend on any societal relationship. They are married to other gopas, but their innate prem is for Sri Krishna. Furthermore, each one of the Dwarka queens has 10 sons and 1 daughter, and their love is therefore divided. But the gopis who enter the Ras Leela do not have any children, nor do they have a relationship with their husband. They have undivided prem for Sri Krishna alone. When the gopis married, they became wives of others. They became paravadhu. Krishna was then a man other than their husband. He was a parapurush, a paramour. Therefore, they could not meet with him of their own accord. There were many obstacles to their meeting with Krishna, such as their husband, mother-in-law, and father-in-law, other family members, and societal conventions. By any trick or excuse, the gopis were forever looking for a chance to meet with him, and Sri Krishna, hiding from his mother, father, and friends, was forever looking for a chance to meet with the gopis. All these obstacles constantly increase the intense eagerness for meeting, for Milan, and they increase the joy of meeting 1,000,000 times over. Sri Krishna is supremely independent. Still, to relish such meetings, he performs such pastimes through his Yogamaya potency. To possess the mood of the gopis is the one and only qualification for entering into such Vraj pastimes. Once, after hearing about the glories of Ras Lila, a longing to also enter Ras Lila awoke within Lakshmi Ji's heart. But because she does not possess the qualification to even enter Vrindavan, she therefore performed austerities for thousands of years on the other side of the Yamuna in Belavan. At that time, Sri Krishna came and asked her, "Why are you performing these arduous austerities?" Lakshmi Ji said, "I want to receive a boon from you to be able to enter the Ras Lila." Sri Krishna said, "Right now, this is not possible for you." "Why not?" Lakshmi Devi asked. Sri Krishna said, "To enter Ras Lila, it is necessary to have the body of a gopi and the identity, the abhiman of a gopi. At the end of this lifetime, you have to take birth from the womb of a gopi in Vrindavan and marry a gopa, a cowherd. After that, once you have submitted yourself to being under the shelter of the Nitya Siddha, the eternally perfected gopis, and are situated in the pure abhiman of a gopi, only then will you be able to enter the Ras Lila, not before. Those Vraj gopis who have children are also unable to enter this Ras. Only those gopis who have no relationship with their husband are able to do so. Therefore, how will you be able to enter? For this, you will have to give up your loving feelings for Nārayaṇa and your self-conception of being a Brahmani. You will have to deceive your cowherd husband and adopt the mood of a paramour. In this way, only after being situated in the mood of a gopi can you enter the Ras Lila." Lakshmi Devi opposed this, saying, "How can I abandon my husband, Nārayaṇa? I cannot give up my chastity and desert him, and then marry a cowherd." "Until you are prepared to do all this, you will have to wait to enter the Ras Lila," Sri Krishna told her. For this reason, Lakshmi Ji is performing austerities in Belvan to this very day, but still she has not attained the necessary qualification. Everyone can desire this Gopi Prem, but it is so extremely rare that even Lakshmi Ji, Shankar Ji, Brahma Ji, and so on, they cannot attain it. What to speak of others? In Vrindavan, Sri Krishna's mother and father, friends, and other gopas and motherly gopis have so much love for him. But here, Sri Sarup Damodar describes only his beloved gopis. In Śrīmad Bhagavatam, there is the following description: "Aho bhagyam, nanda gopa vrajokasam, yan mitrang paramanandam, purnam brahma sanatanam." That's Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:14-32. Oh, how greatly fortunate are Nanda Mahārāja, all the gopas and gopis, the animals, birds, and all other living entities residing in Vraj. There is actually no limit to their good fortune, because the abode of Paramananda, of supreme bliss, the eternal and complete Parabrahma, has descended among them and become their friend. All the gopas also serve Sri Krishna. Nanda Baba serves him as his father, and Gargacharya, Bhaguri Muni, Shandilya Rishi, and others offer him blessings as his gurus. Sudam, Subal, Madhumangal, and Sri Baladev Prabhu also serve him in a male form. But no one in a male body can perform the kind of service Srimati Radhika performs. Therefore, all males are forbidden to enter that place where Sri Krishna is engaged in pastimes with Srimati Radhika and the gopis. Some sakas, such as Madhumangal, Subal Saka, Kokila, Bhringa, and other Priyanamra sakas, who have a semblance of Mahabhav, they assist in these pastimes of Sri Krishna only from a distance, because they are also forbidden from entering the kunjas. On the other hand, all the gopis can enter the kunjas. Therefore, Sri Sarup Damodar said that apart from the gopis, no one has the eligibility to steal Sri Krishna's heart and reign over it. Sri Krishna also confirms this statement in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:32-22. Naparayehang niravadya sangyujam swasadu krityang vibudayushapiva yama bhajandur jayageha shrinkhala sangvrishchatadva pratiyatu sadhuna. My darling gopis, your meeting me is faultless and pure in every respect. It is devoid of even a single iota of desire for your own happiness and is full of supremely pure love. You have demolished the tenacious bonds of household life, and having transgressed the moral laws of this world, you have lovingly served me. Even if I obtain a span of life like that of the gods, I would be unable to requite even one drop of your love, sacrifice, and service. All of you may free me from my debt simply by your own gentle nature, but I am forever the debtor of your prem and will always continue to be. Sri Krishna has never said this to anyone but the gopis. It is for this reason that Sarup Damodar has described the gopis only. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most munificent, Mahavadanya, and he has descended to this earthly plane to bestow this very gopi prem. If an intense hankering to perform service within the Ras Lila of the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, awakens within anyone, then that person will obtain the good fortune of entering this Ras. Only for awakening such longing within the jivas does Sriman Mahaprabhu send so many great personalities, so many Mahapurushas to this world, such as Sri Sarup Damodar, Sri Rai Ramananda, Sri Rupa Gosvāmī, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and his personal associates, his parikars, such as Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami. Shriman Mahaprabhu desires to know the cause of Lakshmi Devi's anger. Prabhu kohe, let me just check the comments. Haribol, Rup Manjari Didi, and Nitai, and also Sudevi Didi. And pranams. Shriman Mahaprabhu desires to know the cause of Lakshmi Devi's anger. Prabhu kohe yatra chale Krishner gaman Subhadra ar Baladev sange dui jan. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 14:124. Shriman Mahaprabhu again asked Sri Sarup Damodar a question. On the pretext of Ratha-yātrā, Sri Krishna went with Sri Baladev Prabhu and Sri Subhadra Devi to Gundicha Mandir, Vrindavan, to meet with Yashoda Maya, Nanda Baba, the Gopas, Gopis, and the rest of the Vrajavasis. He took Sri Baladev Prabhu and Sri Subhadra Devi along with him, so that Lakshmi Devi would not suspect that he has gone to Vrindavan. Sri Baladev Prabhu had lived with Sri Krishna in Vraj until the age of 11, and Sri Subhadraji has great feelings of affection for the gopis. Therefore, Sri Krishna took them with him. He first went to Nanda Bhavan and met with his parents. After that, he left Baladev and Subhadra there. He left Baladev and Subhadra at Nanda Bhavan and went alone to his beloved gopis. Shri Baladev and Subhadraji cannot understand Shri Krishna's confidential pastimes with the gopis, nor do they know that during the day, having made an excuse to the sakas, and during the night, without anyone coming to know, he sometimes goes to Vangshivat, sometimes to Sevakunj, sometimes to Sanket, and sometimes to Radhakund, to meet alone with the gopis. Playing with the gopis in these places, sometimes he swings on swings, sometimes he is defeated by them in games, and sometimes the gopis stealthily steal his flute. Sometimes he plays water sports with the gopis in Shamakund and Radhakund. In this way, Shri Krishna performs many confidential, sweet pastimes with the gopis. Gopi shange jatta lila hoy upavane, nigura Krishner bhava keho nahi jane. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 14.125. No one can understand the confidential moods of Krishna in all the pastimes that take place with the gopis in the kunjas. Even Yashoda Maya does not know about these confidential pastimes. Only Yogamaya, Purnamasi Devi, Vrinda Devi, Dhanishta, and Kundalata, etc. know of them. Shri Krishna's Priyanarma Sakas, such as Subal and Marumangal, know something about them, but even then, they do not have entrance in those pastimes. Therefore, Shri Subhadra Devi and Shri Baladev Prabhu cannot understand why Shri Krishna has come to Vrindavan. Lakshmi Devi was thinking that Shri Jagannātha was wandering about with Shri Baladev Prabhu and Subhadraji, and that he would soon return to Dwarka. Atayev Krishner prakatye nahi kichu dosh, tobe kene Lakshmi Devi kore etorosh. Verse 126. All the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita that I'm reading here are from chapter 14 of Madhya Lila. So I'm just mentioning the number of the verse. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then asked, therefore, since Sri Jagannātha has not committed any perceivable offense to Sri Lakshmi, why did she become so angry with him? Sri Sarup Damodar replied, Swarup ko he prema batir eto svabhav, kantera udasya lekshe hoy krodha bhav. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 14.127. It is natural for a girl wrapped in love to become angry upon her lover, showing her the slightest when he shows her the slightest bit of neglect. This is why Lakshmi was in Man. Heno kale khachita jahe vivida ratan, suvarnera chodola kori arohan, chhatra chamara dvaja patakaragan, nanavadya age nache devadasigan, tambula samputta jhari vyajana chamar, Sate dasi shatahara devya bhushambar, aneka aishwarya sange bahu priyavar, kruddha hoya Lakshmi Devi aila singha dwar. That's verses 128 to 131. You all know what Devadasis are, right? They are Devadasis were Jagannāth's maidservants who dedicated their lives to singing and dancing for his pleasure. Okay, so at that moment, everyone saw that Lakshmi Devi came there riding on a golden, gem-studded palanquin. Her maidservants accompanied her, carrying umbrellas, chamaras, and flags. The other maidservants were playing various musical instruments, and the Devadasis were dancing. Hundreds of maidservants surrounded her. Somebody was just calling me. Hundreds of maidservants surrounded her on all sides, carrying boxes of pan, betel nuts, small water containers with a spout for sprinkling water, fans, and chamars. These maidservants were all adorned with divine ornaments. With her many associates and exhibiting vast opulence, Lakshmi Devi came to the Singadwar filled with anger. Jagannāther mukhya mukhya jata bhritya gane Lakshmi Devir dasi gan korena bandhane Pandiya aniya pare Lakshmir charane Chore danda kore jeno loy nana dhane Achetana vatare korena tarane Nana mato gali den bandha vachane Lakshmi shange dasi ganer pragalbhya dekhiya Hase Mahaprabhur gan mukhe hasta diya. That's verses 132 to 135. On the order of Lakshmi ji, her maidservants grabbed the chief servants of Sri Jagannātha. They began to bind them with ropes and threw them at Lakshmi Devi's feet. She proceeded to punish them as if they had stolen a vast amount of wealth. Those maidservants assailed them with many abuses and harsh words, as if Jagannāth's servants were ignorant fools. Seeing the boldness and expertise of Lakshmi Devi and her associates, Mahaprabhu and his associates covered their mouth and began to laugh. Lakshmi ji departs for Gundicha Mandir. After this, Lakshmi ji began to move toward Sri Gundicha Mandir along with her maidservants. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu also, accompanied by all his devotees, followed just behind to see the bhavs of Lakshmi Devi. Damodara kohe aiche manera prakar Trijagate kaha dekhi shuni nai ar Manini nirutsahe chare vibhushan Bhume boshi nakheleke malina badan Purve satya bhamar shuni evang vidhaman Vraje gopi ganirman raser nidhan Iho nija sampati sab prakat koriya Priyer upar jai sainya sajaiya. Verses 136 to 139. Sri Sarup Damodar said, Never before have I seen or heard of such astonishing man anywhere within the three worlds. Usually, a woman in man becomes morose, throws off all her ornaments, and sits on the ground. Because she is filled with anger and distress, she looks dejected. She begins to write something by scratching her nails on the ground. Previously, when Satyabhamaji had exhibited man, her condition was just like this. So what can be said of the man of the gopis? Their man is the treasury, the crown jewel of ras. But here, in the case of Lakshmiji, the exact opposite is shown. Bedecked in all her wealth and opulence, she and her army have prepared to make an attack on her beloved. What kind of man is this? The man of the gopis. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu asked, How many kinds of man are there in the Vraj gopis? Sri Sarup Damodar said, The gopis' man is hundreds of types. There are many divisions of heroines according to their nature and the propensity of their prem. Man arises in the heroine in accordance with those divisions. It is not possible to describe all the different types of man, and therefore I can only give a general overview by describing a few divisions. The gopis' man is sometimes aroused by a cause, and sometimes without any cause. Man is an advanced stage of prem that manifests after sthāyi bhav, one's permanent sentiment, is attained. There are 5 kinds of sthāyi bhav, and they never change. That's Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhur. When Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvika Bhav, and Vyabhichari Bhav, when all these ingredients mix together on the platform of sthāyi bhav, then bhakti ras is produced. In the sadhak's heart, first rati arises, and then after some time, by the mercy of a ragatmika bhakta of Goloka Vrindavan, the permanent foundation of prem, sthāyi bhav, manifests in his heart. What is the nature of prem? Even when there is every reason for the prem to break, it only increases more and more. In prem, there is not even the slightest trace of a desire for one's own happiness. The gopis' objective is simply to please Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna's objective is to please the gopis. The mutual love of conditioned souls of this world is not selfless, and therefore, when there's just a little harm to one's self-interest, the connection of love breaks. After prem comes the stage of sneha, in which the devotee's heart melts immediately upon seeing Sri Krishna, and streams of tears continuously flow from his eyes. There are two kinds of sneha. There's Grita sneha and Madhu sneha. This is all from Ujjvala Nilamani. Srimati Radhika and the Sakis in her group have Madhu sneha, and Chandravali and the Sakis in her group have Grita sneha. The gopis with Madhu sneha possess the mood that Krishna is theirs, whereas the gopis with Grita sneha think, I am Krishna's. After sneha, the mood of pranay arises, in which the gopis' sneha increases so much that they consider themselves and Krishna to be one soul and two bodies. After pranay comes the stage of man, but sometimes man arises before the stage of pranay. The gopis have a firm conviction that if they go into man, then Sri Krishna will surely come to pacify them. This alone is the purpose of their man. There are unlimited moods within Srimati Radhika. Among them, 360 are prominent, and therefore, they are basically 360 kinds of gopis. Each gopi has a different mood, and all moods are embodied in Srimati Radhika. All the gopis are her kaya vyuha, her direct expansions, and their moods manifest by her desire. Lalita is prakara, bold and outspoken. Some gopis are gentle and sober, dhira, and some restless, adhira. When Sri Sarup Damodar explained all this, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu said, I want to hear about the bhavs that are beyond this. Sri Sarup Damodar said, when those gopis who have the mood, I belong to Krishna, when those gopis are in man, so the gopis with Grita sneha, when they are in man, they do not speak cutting words to him. They just weep. However, when the gopis who have the mood that Krishna is mine, not I'm Krishna's is mine, those are the gopis with Madhu sneha, when they exhibit man, then, with tears flowing from their eyes and being filled with anger, they pierce Krishna with the arrows of their harsh words. Once, when Sri Krishna went to Radhaji, his face and arms bore black and red marks. Seeing this, Radhaji thought that these marks were from his amorous play, his vilas, with other gopis. She then exhibited man. With sarcasm, she sweetly said, Oh, you have come. You look most exhausted. Please rest for a little while. She gave him a place to sit and shot a sidelong glance at his face. You are looking very beautiful. You look just like Mahadev Shankaraji. Nil Rohit Rudra Shankar's complexion is a combination of blue, black, and red. In this way, Sri Radhaji compared Sri Krishna to Shankarji. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and Srila Sarup Damodar Goswami became so absorbed in discussing the moods of the Vrajavasis that they did not even notice that Lakshmiji's chariot had reached Gundicha Mandir. Now the pastime of Lakshmi Devi arriving at Gundicha Mandir is being described. When Lakshmi realized that Sri Krishna had left Nilachal, left Dwarka to go to Sundarachal, Vrindavan, her anger suddenly increased. Shrivasa hasiya kohe shuno damodar, amar Lakshmir dekho sampatti vistar, Vrindavanir sampad dekho pushpa kisalai, giri dhatu shiki picha gunja phalamoy. That's verses 203 to 204. Srivas Thakur, laughing, said to Sri Sarup Damodar, "My dear friend, just see the extent of the unlimited opulence of my Lakshmiji. Vrindavan's treasure merely consists of some flowers, creepers, minerals from the hills, peacock feathers, and gunja berries. In Vrindavan, Shri Krishna does not even have a gold crown on his head. He bears only a flute made of bamboo, a peacock feather, and pitambar and a flower garland. Vrindavana dekibare gela Jagannāth, shuni Lakshmi devir mane hoilo asoyat. Eto sampatti chhadi kene gela Vrindavan, tare hasya korite Lakshmi korila sajan." Verses 205 to 206. Srivas Thakur continued. Upon hearing that Sri Jagannath Ji has gone to see that Vrindavan, the heart of my Swamini Sri Lakshmi has become saddened. Why has Sri Jagannath Ji gone to see Vrindavan, leaving behind so much wealth and opulence? Just to make a mockery of this, Lakshmi Ji has set out with her entire opulence and wealth. Then the maidservants of Lakshmi Ji said to the servants of Lord Jagannath Dev, "Tomar Thakur deko eto sampatti chhadi, patra phala phulla lobhe gela pushpa badi. E karma kore kaha vidagdha shiromani, Lakshmir agrete nija prabhure deho ani." That's verses 207 to 208. Your master Jagannath, abandoning the great opulence of Lakshmi Ji, went into the flower garden, greedy for some leaves, fruits, and flowers. Your master is the crest jewel of the clever, so why is he showing such foolishness? Very quickly present your master before Lakshmi Devi. Eto boli Lakshmir sabadasi gane, koti vastre bandhi ane prabhur ne jagane. Lakshmir charane ani korai pranati, dhana dandaloy ar korai minati. Rather upare kore dandera taran, chora pray kore Jagannather sevakkan. That's verses 209 to 211. Saying this, the maidservants of Lakshmi arrested the servants of Jagannath and bound them by throwing cloth around their waists. They then brought them to Lakshmi and made them offer pranam at her feet. As punishment, they took their wealth and had them make a humble entreaty to her. They even beat Sri Jagannath's chariot with sticks. They treated Jagannath's servants just like thieves. Sab bhritya gana kohe jora kori hat, kali ani dibo tomar age Jagannath. Verse 212. Finally, Lord Jagannath's servants came before Lakshmi Devi with folded hands and said, "We will bring Lord Sri Jagannath before you tomorrow." Having fined and punished Sri Jagannath's servants, Lakshmi Devi, upon hearing them make this promise, released them and went to her abode pacified. Srivas Pandit said to Sri Sarup Damodar, "It is not possible to describe my Lakshmi Ji's wealth in words. Your gopis make ghee, yogurt, butter, and so forth from the milk of their cows. This is how they make their livelihood. They live in kunjas, bowers, not in the big palaces of Mathura and Dwarka. They make their ornaments from forest flowers, whereas Dwarkavasis have ornaments of gold, pearls, diamonds, and jewels. And my Thakurani sits on a jeweled throne." Hearing the words of Srivas Pandit, who is in the mood of Sri Naraji, the devotees of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu burst out laughing. Prabhu kohe Srivas, tomate narad swabhav, Aishwarya bhave tomate Ishwara prabhav. Iho damodara swarup shuddha vrajavasi. Aishwarya na jane iho shuddha preme bhasi. Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Goswami should always say this verse. Iho damodara swarup shuddha vrajavasi. Aishwarya na jane iho shuddha prema bhasi. It's verses 216 to 217. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu said, Shrivas, your nature is just like that of Sri Narad. By the Lord's influence, you are only attracted to the mood of opulence of Aishwarya. But this Sarup Damodar is a pure Vrajavasi. He does not know Aishwarya. He simply remains immersed in pure prem. Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Goswami would make the point that Sarup Damodar has never physically been to Vrindavan. There's no mention of him ever going to Vrindavan. But Mahaprabhu says that he is a Shuddha Vrajavasi. He is a pure Vrajavasi. So residing in the Dham isn't something that you just do physically. That doesn't mean you become a resident of the Dham. You can become a resident of the Dham even having never visited the Dham. The majesty of Vrindavan. Swarup kohe Shrivasa shuno sabadhane. Vrindavana sampad tomar nahi pore mane. Vrindavane sahajika je sampat sindhu. Dwaraka vaikunta sampat tar eka bindhu. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 14, verses 218 to 219. Sri Sarup Damodar said, Shrivas, just listen attentively. Do you not know the transcendental opulence of Vrindavan? The natural opulence of Vrindavan is like a vast ocean. The opulence of Dwarka and Vaikunta is not equal to even a drop of that ocean. Shriya Kanta Kanta Paramapurusha Kalpataravo Druma Bhumishchinta Manikanamai Toyamamritam Kathaganam Natyam Gamanamapi Vangshi Priya Sakhi Chiranandam Jyoti Paramapitad Aswadan Apicha. That's from Brahma Samhita, verse 56. However much opulence the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna has is fully manifested in his own abode Vrindavan. There, the earth is made of wish-fulfilling Chintamani jewels, and the houses are made of jewels. Even the maidservants there wear ankle bell made of Chintamani gems. There, all the trees are desire trees, are Kalpavriksha trees. But the Vrajavasis only desire fruits and flowers. They only desire fruits and flowers from them. They don't want the trees to fulfill their desires. The limitless cows there are all wish-fulfilling cows. They are all Kamadhenus. But the Vrajavasis beg only milk from them, not any other kind of wealth. The Vrajavasis' ordinary speech is song, and their natural walk a dance. The water of the abode is nectar. With its own transcendental radiance, that abode illuminates itself. The Lakshmis there, that is the Gopis, defeat the Lakshmi of Vaikunta and Dwarka with their astonishing qualities. There, Shri Krishna's Vangshi flute itself performs the activities of a dearmost friend, a Priya Sakhi. Shri Krishna is the crown jewel among connoisseurs of ras. He is Rasik Shekhar, and that is why he wants to relish the ras of Unata Ujjvala Prem, the supremely elevated, resplendent love of the gopis. He is not fully satisfied by any other sentiment of love. This Unata Ujjvala ras is only within the gopis of Vrindavan, and therefore, leaving aside the opulence displayed in the abode of Dwarka, Shri Krishna always resides in Vrindavan, which is full of madhurya. Upon hearing the glories of Vrindavan from Sri Sarup Damodar, Srivas Pandit's mood changed. He became absorbed in the mood of Madhumangal, because Narad is Madhumangal in Krishna's pastimes, right? So he became absorbed in the mood of Madhumangal, Shri Krishna's dear Sakha and Vraj. Absorbed in the mood of Raj, he began to dance and loudly laugh while making a funny sound by squeezing air out of his armpit with his cupped hand. After hearing the glories of the pure prem of Sri Radhaji, Sriman Mahaprabhu too became even more immersed in prem. He began to dance, and Sri Sarup Damodar began to perform kirtan. The difference between the mood of Aishwarya and Madhurya. Here the question arises that if Sri Krishna has so much love for the Vrajavasis, why did he go to Mathura and Dwarka and leave them burning in the agony of separation from him? The explanation for this is that Sri Krishna cannot abandon any devotee. For this reason, he went there to fulfill the desires of the devotees in Mathura and Dwarka. The following question is then raised. After bringing joy to the devotees of Mathura and Dwarka, why did he not return to Vrindavan? The reason for this is that if Sri Krishna had returned to Vrindavan at that time, then Jarasandha would have come to know that Sri Krishna is the son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya. To take revenge on Sri Krishna for causing Kamsa's death, he would have attacked Vraj. In Vraj, there's no system to protect it from outsiders, nor was there any fort, nor did Nanda Baba have any soldiers. Jarasandha would have easily destroyed all of Vraj and imprisoned Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, just as Kamsa had imprisoned Shri Vasudeva and Devaki. This is the external reason for Krishna's not returning to Vraj. But there are also many other confidential reasons for this. Could Sri Krishna not have come to Vraj from time to pacify the Vrajvasis, especially the gopis who were enduring the agony of separation from him? Couldn't he have come from time to time at least? The reason he did not do so is because the very bodies of the gopis are made of separation. When Sri Krishna was in Vrindavan, even a moment's separation from him used to seem like eons for the gopis. And when he went to Mathura, their feeling of separation intensified immensely. When a droplet of water falls on a hot frying pan, it instantly sizzles and evaporates, turning into steam, and the temperature of the frying pan increases rather than decreases. In the same way, the gopis' agony of separation is like a hot frying pan, and Sri Krishna's meeting them for a few days would be like a drop of water, intensifying their burning and separation. Some people may ask the following question. Sri Krishna delivered the sleeping Mathuravasis to Dwarka in the middle of the night, thus showing that he can make the impossible possible. But why did he not take Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya, his Sakas, Gopis, and other Vrajavasis to Dwarka? In Dwarka, he had innumerable enormous palaces for not only each of his queens, but also for Vasudeva and Devaki, Akrura, Uddhava, and so on. When thousands and millions of Mathuravasis used to live there, could he have not made beautiful arrangements for the Vrajavasis to stay there also? The reason she could, oh my God, I just realized it's 8:30. I hope you don't mind me going over time a bit. There's not so much left. So the reason why Krishna did not make arrangements for the Vrajavasis to stay in Dwarka also is the reason for this is that Mathura and Dwarka are lands of Aishwarya, majesty and opulence, and Vrindavan is the land of Madhurya, charming sweetness. Aishwarya and Madhurya cannot simultaneously exist in one place. The moods of Vrindavan can never manifest in Dwarka, and the moods of Dwarka can never manifest in Vrindavan. These two bhavs are opposite, and putting them together is called rasabhas, the overlapping of mellows. To understand this, it is first of all necessary to understand the meaning of Madhurya and Aishwarya bhavs. In Dwarka, there is complete majesty, there is Vaibhav. There, the Yadu dynasty regards Sri Krishna as the complete supreme controller, Parameshwar. Sometimes, Sri Krishna even assumes his four-armed form there. In Vrindavan, on the other hand, only Madhurya Bhav is displayed. Aishwarya Bhav remains covered by Madhurya Bhav. There, Sri Krishna took birth from the womb of Mother Yashoda. As a tiny baby, he could not even turn over without his mother's help. He used to feel hungry frequently, and if he did not get butter, he would become angry and break clay pots of yogurt. Sometimes he would steal butter from the houses of the Vraj gopis. Once, on breaking a pot of yogurt in his own home, Mother Yashoda bound Sri Krishna to a grinding mortar. She always considers Sri Krishna to be her son, having been born from her womb. The idea that he is the complete absolute, that he is Purna Brahma and the supreme controller, that he is Parameshwar, this idea never enters her heart. This alone is Madhurya Bhav. If she considered Sri Krishna to be Purna Brahma, she would never have been able to scold him. When it is said that Vrindavan is a land of Madhurya, one should not think that Aishwarya is lacking there. Goloka Vrindavan is the foundation of all other abodes. All of the Aishwarya that is manifest in other abodes is only a fraction of the Aishwarya of Vrindavan. But in Vrindavan, Madhurya Bhav is so strong that it covers such Aishwarya, which is allowed to manifest only when appropriate for Leela. Even though there is Aishwarya Bhav in Vrindavan, Sri Krishna performs human-like pastimes there, just like an ordinary boy. For example, the demoness Putana came to Gokul in the disguise of a beautiful woman. Lovingly calling 6-day-old Krishna her dear son, she took him on her lap and began to feed him her breast milk. She had applied deadly poison to her breasts. Her intention in coming to Vraj was to kill him. As soon as he saw her, he closed his eyes as if afraid of her and began to suck on her breast. While doing so, he began to suck out her life as well. The pain in her breast was tremendous, and she began to loudly cry out, "Leave me! Leave me!" Putana had the strength of 10,000 elephants, but she could not free herself from Sri Krishna's grasp. To save her life, she transformed into her real form and flew into the sky, but Sri Krishna easily took away her life. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, in the form of a tiny, helpless baby, killed such a strong witch as Putana and revealed his godhood and majesty. See, so that's actually godhood and majesty, killing Putana as strong as 10,000 elephants. But Vrindavan's pastimes are full of, the Madhurya is so strong that you don't see the Aishwarya in it. It's covered by Madhurya. When Sri Krishna was only 7 years of age, he, smiling, lifted Govardhan hill on his little finger and held it there for 7 days, as easily as an elephant lifts a lotus flower with its trunk, all the while standing in his charming threefold bending form. All the cowherd boys held up their sticks and supported Govardhan, thinking that they themselves were holding up the hill. Nanda Maharaj prayed to his worshipful form of Bhagavan, "O Nārayaṇa, please do not allow this mountain to fall down." And what can be said of the gopis? They are the very Shakti of Krishna. Radhaji looked at Govardhan with a piercing sidelong glance and said, "If you fall, you will burn to ashes." In this way, everyone was helping in accordance with their own bhavs, thinking that without their assistance, Sri Krishna would not be able to hold up Govardhan alone. Without assuming a huge form or four-armed form, Sri Krishna lifted Govardhan hill and displayed his great majesty, his great Aishwarya. Even if Aishwarya is displayed in Bhagavan's human-like pastimes, they are still called Madhurya-filled pastimes. In Vrindavan, Krishna is the friend of all the gopis. He is the beloved of the young gopis, and he is the son of all the motherly gopis. This mood is not in Dwarka. There, only the mood of majesty and opulence is prominent. In Dwarka, Sri Krishna identifies himself as being a Kshatriya and the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. In Vrindavan, however, he considers himself to be a Gopa and the son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda. If the Mathuravasis and Vrajavasis all lived together in Dwarka, then whose son would Sri Krishna call himself? In Dwarka, Sri Krishna is a king and therefore would not be able to go out cowherding with his sakas. He would not be able to give up his gem-studded golden crown and don a crown of peacock feathers. Due to the presence of the 16,108 queens, he could not play his flute there to call the gopis to the ras dance. If all the gopas and gopis were to come to Dwarka, the union of the two bhavs would give rise to the defect of rasa bhas, the overlapping of mellows. The elevated mood of Vrindavan can never arise in Dwarka. In Vrindavan, Shri Krishna carries his flute and wears a peacock feather, and he displays his beautiful threefold bending form as Manmata Manmata, he who enchants Cupid, Kamadev himself. Shri Krishna's topmost pastime place, Giriraj Govardhan, as well as Shri Vrindadevi, who arranges his sweet pastimes, could never abandon Vraj to go to Dwarka. Shri Krishna cannot perform Ras Leela in Dwarka, and so the gopis would never go there. Shri Krishna can never be there in his complete swarup, in his complete form. He resides there in his manifestation of Vasudev, because Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna never gives up his swarup of Rajendra Nandan Sham Sundar, and he could never abandon Vrindavan. Krishna never takes one step, one foot out of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna, Raj Bhuvan Yadav ji, and Shah Sharma ji, and Raseshwari Mata ji. All right, so that's our reading for today. Thanks for letting me go overtime. And tomorrow will be, sorry, my mind went blank. Oh yeah, tomorrow is our weekly Chaitanya Bhagavat reading on my Vine of Devotion channel on YouTube. And then the day after that, we only have 2 more days of Śrīmad Bhagavatam left. And then we'll have completed the entire 12 cantos of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. I'm starting to make plans for our next program, which will begin in Chaturmasya. What I'm thinking of doing now, tell me what you think of this plan. This is just an idea I came up with last night. I'm thinking of every morning during Chaturmasya at 5:15 a.m. India time, 5:15 a.m. I would start a japa session. And I was thinking for the japa session, we could read Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaja's Prapana Jivanamrita. We could read a verse at the beginning of the japa session, a verse in the middle of the japa session, and then one verse at the end of the japa session. It's all in the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, verses from all different places. And then I was thinking, so that would be like 45 minutes japa, and those 3 verses every day. Then after that, I was thinking of going through different ashtakams, like Guru Vashtakam, Prabhupada Padmastava, Sharda Goswami Ashtakam, Nityananda Ashtakam, maybe Shachi Shunvashtakam. I don't know, I have a list of different ashtakams. So I was thinking we could sing those ashtakams. Then there'd be maybe a half an hour gap, half an hour break, and then I would start the new Chaitanya Bhagavat program. The new Chaitanya Bhagavat program will start at 7 a.m. Not usually I start at 7:30, but this Chaitanya Bhagavat program will start at 7. And the first part of the program will be for 15 minutes. For 15 minutes we can do a Mangalacharan and sing a different kirtan every day about Sriman Mahaprabhu, a different Bengali kirtan. And then for 15 minutes, one of the participants in our reading group can give a synopsis, like a explanation of the readings that we did previously. So, like you can explain any, like 1 chapter or 2 chapters or just part of a chapter, whatever you want. But everybody will have a chance to speak a little bit, maybe once a week. Each person will get a chance, and so that will go for 15 minutes. And then there'll be 45 minutes of reading. And then the last 15 minutes, we can discuss what we read. And I would like beforehand to think of topics of discussion related to the reading. And I'll give it to you at the end of each reading. For 5 minutes at the end, I'll give everyone the topics of discussion for the next day related to the reading, and also what we'll be reading about, just a little preview. And then that way you have 24 hours to contemplate like things related to that topic. It's just an idea. And so instead of it being an hour program, it will be 1 hour, 1.5 hours. But anybody can, everything will be at fixed times, so anybody can join whatever part of the program they want. They don't have to join the whole thing. You could just join the 45-minute reading. This will all be on Zoom so that everybody has a chance to speak and interact. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing now. So it'd be 1.5 hours at, early in the morning, and 1.5 hours later on starting from 7. So altogether 3 hours every day. But as I said, it will all be divided and we'll try to have each little part of the program very, timely, so that people can just join whatever part works best for them. So yeah, what do you think of that program? I'm thinking of doing that all through Chaturmasya and also during Purushottam Mas. And we can switch up the kirtans in the Ashtakam portion after the japa session. Maybe every month we can make a new set of kirtans, or I don't know. We'll figure that out. What kirtans we do every day. But yeah, you like that idea? Let me know. All right. I guess I'll just end with Mahamantra and Jaidvani. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Sapashad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Herā-pañcamī Ki Jai, Shri Lakshmi Vijayotsav Ki Jai, Shri Jagannātha Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ju Ki Jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Ki Jai, Shri Shivas Pandit Ki Jai, Sarva Vrajavasi Gan Ki Jai, Sarva Vraja Devi Gan Ki Jai, Shri Vishabhanu Nandini Shrimati Radha Thakurani Ki Jai, Shri Vrajendra Nandan Sham Sundar Shri Krishna Chandra Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashcha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you all tomorrow on Vine of Devotion YouTube channel to go through Chaitanya Bhagavat, 4th chapter. In this 4th chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavat, I'm just preparing the video right now. There are 3 topics. One is Mahaprabhu getting the name Nimai and Vishvambar, so the name-giving ceremony. Then there's different pastimes when he's a child, like when Mahaprabhu grabbed the snake and laid on the snake like Ananta Shesh, and all the different mischief he would do, breaking the pots in people's homes, stealing, and making little babies cry. And so all the mischief that he did when he's little. And then the story of 2 thieves stealing Mahaprabhu, stealing Nimai, because they want to steal all the ornaments on him. So that's the topics that we'll read about tomorrow in the 4th chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavat Adi Lila. That will be on the Vine of Devotion YouTube channel. All right, everybody, so I'll see you all there if you'd like to join. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari.